everybody, it is the weekly wrap-up and it is December 21st, 2012. Am I still here? Are we still here? I guess if we're still here, I can do the wrap-up. Alright, what happened this week? Well, lots of things happened again. We have another Listen and Recognize, we have another Advanced Course, Voice Course, and we have another Vibrato clip all released. Vibrato is up to number 10. And that's a really good clip because I took a moment to start to say, if you haven't developed your vibrato by this point in the Vibrato course, then there may be other reasons why you're having trouble getting the vibrato going. And then I talked about those things and took them step by step, talking about what? You know, breathy tone, strident tongue, veins popping out of the side of your throat. Any of those things, if any of those are your problem, then those may be the reasons why you haven't developed vibrato yet. That and many more. So if you're on the site and you can actually look at that lesson, check that out, because it talks about reasons why the vibrato might not be being developed, but really some of those are general voice problems that cause other problems as well. So I thought that's a great clip. I was very happy with that. Took me a while to actually put that one together. So that's what's going on in the Vibrato course. Now the Advanced Voice course, we're up to the major 7th chord, and that's very cool. You've seen minor 9ths, major 7th, minor 7th, dominant 7th. Actually, the minor 7th and dominant 7th are coming. So now I just to give you a little hint of what's going to be going on there. And also the minor pentatonic scale, you're going to be seeing that very soon. Actually, you're going to be seeing that next week. Again, if you're on the site and you're looking at these courses as they're going. Now, if you're not on the site and you're watching this on YouTube, well, then you're hearing a little bit about things that are going on over at totallyvocals.com with courses. The Advanced Voice course has introduced minor and major 9 scale arpeggios, minor 13th arpeggio, and again, all of the 7th chords are coming, as well as minor pentatonics and even more scales that I'm not mentioning right now. So that also is part of what happened this week. And the Listen and Recognize, we're up to step 83, and the augmented chord has been finally brought into the mix. And that's great. It means that now you are listening to random notes, major chords, minor chords, diminished chords, and augmented chords. All the basic triads. The 4 basic triads that build up in one way or another. And it's taken quite a long time because, as I always say about the Listen and Recognize course, I'm moving extremely slow to develop your ear and give you plenty of opportunities to listen and identify both random notes, qualities of chords, and letter names of chords. So that is what's happened in relationship to the Listen and Recognize. Now a little bit on the weekly tip, the vocal tip. So last week on a wrap-up, I talked about the lip roll, and coming up I'm going to review that for a minute. Talked about having slow, very floppy, relaxed lips. And as you're coming up, right, and it's all about keeping the larynx balanced and not having the larynx jet up extremely high in the throat or even push down too much. But as you are ascending in your range, again, the tendency is for the larynx to rise, and that's why I was talking about putting the dumb sound into the sound as you go up. So like, for again, if I go, when I'm going up, can you hear that? Ooh, just slightly, ooh, that imposure. So the idea is, as I'm ascending, that I'm doing something that's causing my larynx to counterbalance a sound that brings it down a little bit. So as I'm ascending, and where it normally may have pulled up, instead what it's going to do is counterbalance as I'm going up into the higher notes into my mix. So ooh, that's right up to the place where something else is going to happen. That's going from my chest into my mix that time. If I want to continue on up higher, up into the head voice area, you've got to make a release. You get up, the air pressure is holding on pretty strong in your mix, and then you release up into the top notes. So again, with the lip roll, it sounds like this. Now, we talked about this last week, but I didn't stress this, and I want to stress that when you're coming back down, that you really come from your head voice into the top of your mix on down, and then relaxed in chest again. Again, on the bottom notes, I don't have to do anything but make the sound. Now, if you can't do a lip roll, you can do this with a tongue trill. Or you can even do it with an with a You can use kind of a or an ooh. Any of those sounds. Lip roll or a tongue trill is getting things to balance a little bit more. Always remember that it's better for you to not push the sound or try to make it too big in the beginning, but to keep everything balanced. Not wimpy light, but light is better in the beginning of going than pushing too much air through the mix area. So again, or feel this, feel your Adam's apple, put your thumb underneath your chin here, and feel that the muscles involved in swallowing stay nice and loose and relaxed. The larynx doesn't pull up or put jet high in your throat as you're singing higher. And what you're doing is you're accessing a big part of your range, or the biggest part of from your low notes up through your mix up into your highest notes. Now, got all kinds of exercises that actually help those things a lot more if you really get involved in the courses. This is something that's just the beginning to start to get you to access this. But I want to help people who are not on the site and you're on YouTube, and instead of me just always trying to do a commercial or something, I'm trying to now, at the end of all of my weekly wrap-ups, giving you some vocal tips, and I will continue to do that. And we'll talk about, I'll mention one more too. You know, you can troubleshoot and start to look at yourself in a mirror. You should get in front of a mirror, and as you're vocalizing any song, ooh, or just doing some sounds, look and see if your neck is relaxed or if you see veins popping out of the side of the neck. Also, when you make a sound, make sure that it's not real breathy, like that's not good. The chords are apart. Or A. Now when I do an A, that A naturally brings the chords together a little tighter, creates a little more compression, and that's another good sound for you to siren up and down through. If you can keep things smooth, keep the larynx balanced in the middle of the neck, keep the swallowing muscles relaxed here, and go A. Now if you got a good ear, you may notice that there's a area that I'm going through. I'm doing that purposely as well because it takes the air pressure away so I don't develop as much air pressure there. All of these things, again, are more intensely developed in the courses, but this is a good way to start to access all of the notes in your voice. Siren up and down a little bit, use a lip roll, use a tongue drill, use an A vowel sound, use an or an NG. Any of those sounds. Again, can you do that in a very relaxed manner? That's the question. And doing this, believe it or not, will help you become a better singer, because you'll start to understand more how to go from the bottom to the top of your range without creating too much pressure underneath your vocal cords, which is absolutely vital and important to developing your voice. Okay, so we talked about the weekly wrap-up. Lots of cool things, lots more coming next week. A little vocal tip, and are we still here? I hope so. Okay, hope to see you next week.